Hello! For Project 3, I'm going to be doing a project that helps my family to build better habits around taking care of the cat's litter box regularly. My office is right outside the door of the bathroom where we keep the litter box, so I smell it and see it more often than anyone else, and I do my fair share of helping to clean it. But we often ask kids to do it and it doesn't get done, or we forget the last time that it was done, or the last time that the litter itself was replaced. And we really just need a good way to remind us to do it and track when it's being done. Um, so some basic rules are that we would like the litter box to be scooped and to sweep up around it every day before dinner time. And we would also like to refresh or change out the litter at least once every 2 weeks, maybe more often. So some requirements are, first, we would like to detect interactions with the box as a way to know that it is being done. So my thoughts here were to have, I got some strain gauges, which are just the sensors used in like a bathroom scale, to detect changes in the weight of the litter box. Those changes in weight could occur when you are scooping things out of the litter box, or they could occur when a cat gets in it, or they would certainly happen when you are lifting the box up to go and empty it. But it requires an interaction first to know that someone is doing something with the litter box, and then a confirmation that this is a human interacting with it, not a cat. And that's how we can know what has happened, what kind of interaction it is with the litter box. We would like to keep track of the time since the last scoop cleaning. We'd like to have an alert or an alarm go off each day if that scoop cleaning has not occurred yet by 5 p.m. daily. We would like to know the time since the last time the litter was refreshed or replaced. And be alarmed, not just daily about scooping it, but after so many days when it has not been replaced. And again, relying on the human interaction there to say, I just scooped it or I just replaced it. So we'd also like, some kind of visual progress indicator that is outside of the room where the litter box is kept, that says, hey, the time is approaching where you need to clean this. So it's not just no one thinking about it at all until suddenly a blaring alarm goes off or something like that. But just kind of a visual indicator saying that the time is quickly approaching. And then the most important requirement here is that we can't do anything that would disrupt the cat's current good habits of using the litter box. We don't want to spook them or make it weird for them to be using the litter box and have something around that makes them not want to do that. That would be bad. So how are we going to do that? There's really two parts to this. One is to have like an LCD screen and maybe a buzzer and some buttons, an interface for inputting next to the litter box when we detect that someone is interacting with the litter box. The weight is changing, the weight is being tilted or something, then prompting a question, are you human and are you scooping or replacing the litter? The next one would be outside of the bathroom where the litter box is kept. That is where we would have the visual indicators of how soon the litter box is going to need to be changed, and that is where we would have like alarms or a readout saying it has been this many days since the litter box was changed or since it was scooped. So those are the two places where we would see that interaction. So alarms. The alarms would be both audio and visual. We have this meowing cat toy that meows really loud and high-pitched, 3 meows. I'm going to trigger that to do every 10 seconds. And I'm also going to flip on the LCD that says, scoop clean overdue. It's been this many days since it was scooped, or whatever we can say there. I'm not sure. But a light indicator that during the week or during the day before the deadline of changing or scooping the litter would have just said, hey, the time is approaching. Now that the alarm's gone off, that LED strip could actually have chaser lights that draw your attention in and say, get in there and clean it now. So interaction at that point would be to turn off the alarm, the buzzer, or the cat meow toy. But in order to actually reset the state of the alarm, a human would have to interact with the litter box. So those strain gauges on the litter box would detect that change in weight, and they would prompt. Only then could the person go in and say, yes, I am scooping, I am refreshing, or just ignore me. I'm not doing anything. If they are scooping, then we'd do some things. We could essentially detect the times when a cat has gone in and used the litter box and not interacted with the interface and say, hey, a deposit was made. We could count those deposits, and we could, when scooping, we could say reset that count. When scooping or refreshing, we could say, all right, extend the next scheduled alarm to be further out now that we know that it was scooped or it was refreshed. And we could reset the time since the last time it was scooped or refreshed. So extending the next alarm time, resetting the timer or the countdown that tells you how long it's been. And of course, if an alarm was tripped after we clicked that scoop or refresh button, which was enabled by us interacting with the litter box, then we would reset the alarm state outside of the bathroom. And of course, we don't want to have that interaction of change in litter box occur too many times or too frequently. We want to ignore any inputs from those strain gauges for at least 20 minutes when you are either scooping or refreshing. But if you were to say, I'm not doing anything with the litter box, ignore me, then we'll just give you 30 seconds to stop moving it around or doing whatever you're doing. Again, if that was a cat, the cat's not going to respond. So that would be a good indicator that it's a cat. Next would be, what is the cat's experience? The cat enters the litter box. Sure, we detect the movement, the change in weight, but the cat ignores any prompts, obviously doesn't push any buttons to say that they're scooping or doing anything with that. We just time out the event. That prompt times out and returns to normal state. We could then say, hey, I know this was a cat, or we think it was a cat, and we could say, increment the deposit count so that we can then display on an LCD outside of the bathroom, there have been X number of deposits since the last time it was scooped or replaced. And of course, we would also have a buffer or a time around which more weight shifting or interaction with the litter box would not prompt for a response. Thank you very much.